term coon was originally made for the sake of black people, portray negative stereotypes of black people. They don't really behave like that for the sake of entertaining white people. The problem with a coon is that a coon is one misrepresenting black people. He's acting like a type of black person that doesn't really exist, or at the very least makes up such a small percentage of the black community. And so what you end up with are white people thinking to themselves, oh, this is how black people are and how black people behave. But they would actually be hard pressed to find a black person or run into a black person that does behave or act like that. But the reality is, this is how a lot of black people behave and act today. Even black kids that are raised in middle class America, they adopt this kind of demeanor to some extent because this has been branded as what authentic blackness is. And so in an attempt to try and identify with being black, they feel the need to take on this persona. So I halfway agree with you here, but we'll continue.
Makes it. If there wasn't as big of a financial incentive, they wouldn't be pumping out as much as they do. And they definitely wouldn't be playing up the tropes as much as they do. At the end of the day, these creators know exactly what they're doing. They're aware of the negative consequences this type of content leaves on all of us, but they don't care.
What is the negative consequence? How about you articulate that? That is the one thing you don't articulate. Articulate what that negative consequence is.
Spending way too much money to care. As much as we can point fingers at the creators of this type of content, it still needs to be picked up by YouTube's algorithm in order to...
No, you see, again, the white man is responsible for the upliftment and improvement of the black community. This is the white guilt liberal nonsense, and that's why all of these guys, they also pro LGBTQ, bro. They're also pro feminism. All of these dudes, they're all like this because they are really just white liberals in black skin. They're all with the LGBTQ stuff, the trans stuff, the feminism stuff, the sexual liberation stuff. They're with all of it. They're just white liberals in black skin. But I'm the person who's trying to be white. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I promise you, I'm a million times closer to Malcolm X than any of these like black. All you have to do is read it. You know, that's another thing. These people love quoting these people and posting their pictures. Have you ever read what these men wrote? Have you ever read what Frederick Douglass wrote? Have you ever read what Marcus Garvey wrote? Malcolm X, Martin Luther King? Have you ever read what these guys actually preached? They preach what I preach. It's just that a lot of those guys also preach black supremacy or black nationalism. And I don't preach that part. You know what I'm saying? If I had to say I identify with anybody, my ideology is perfectly in line with Malcolm X's ideology after he left the Nation of Islam. That's where I'm at.
Reach the audience that has. But what exactly is it? What exactly is it about these videos that makes the algorithm go crazy? Why is this type of content so favored? Well, let's see. It's easy to ask why YouTube allows this type of content to grow and spread these narratives, but the real question is, why wouldn't they?
Bro, it's simple. Ask yourself, who do you think is watching Duck Dynasty? Do you think it's upper-class white liberals that hate guns and the thought of, catching and skinning a deer makes them gross? The thought of wading through swamp water makes their skin crawl? You think those are the people watching Duck Dynasty? No, it's middle and lower class white Americans. It's white people that identify with that culture. They relate to it to some degree. And so the reason why these videos are getting all these views is because you're seeing how many black people relate to this kind of behavior. They find it entertaining. They find it relatable. Some of them could even see themselves being one of the people on the show. I should also say that I suspect a portion of the people watching this kind of content are watching it for the sheer spectacle of it because of how absurd and ridiculous the people in these videos behave. So,
it's up, it's good, and the Giants have a 7-0 lead.
Hello? Hello? Yeah.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone.
We might still be over there because my mom told me they got a party at the Y, so we might still be over there. We're gonna go to Nana's first, and then we're It's a lot. Yeah. We was gonna stop by your house before we went to.
Ready for their next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go around.
And
see you later.
Partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the
pick
6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry.
A guilty pleasure kind of situation. However, that still doesn't make this kind of content minstrelsy, because the people participating in these shows are not putting on an act. Yes, they are being dramatic at times, but to believe that people would voluntarily go on these shows and behave like clowns to permanently destroy their reputation and image in the real world just to say they were in a viral YouTube video or make $100 is ridiculous. Sure, some of the people going on these shows are influencers who are trying to grow their brand, like White, which is why I say you could reasonably accuse him of doing what you are saying. But most of these people are regular people who live regular lives, and this is just how they behave. So that's why it's so popular, and that's what you're in denial about. You're in denial about the reality of black culture, and where a lot of people in the black community are. That's the fact, bro. It's the same reason why a lot of those people who would watch a Duck Dynasty are not going to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They see those people and think they're pretentious and fake and made out of plastic, and they're constantly concerned about foolishness.
So you know I make content. Okay, my next video, you hold the camera on top of it, play with that too much. There is no. There's nothing. No, you gotta do what? I know, but like, you know,
like, what do you think? You think that woman is reading Thomas Sowell and going to church on the weekend? No, she's really like that.
Talk about this giant defense. Well, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take
the ball is out. Watson lost it. And he can
get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yes, I see we've made it to the belly of the beast, the dreaded bowels of the creature known as YouTube. It's pretty difficult to answer why YouTube's algorithm continues to push this stuff out because, well, no one's really cracked YouTube's algorithm. No one truly knows the inner workings of the algorithm except for YouTube themselves, and anyone attempting to convince you otherwise is most likely lying to you. We don't know for sure how it works, but
I can tell you, I've been doing YouTube for 8 years. The algorithm rewards videos that people watch. Surprise, there is no magic formula to it. All a view is a person watching a video. In order to blow up on YouTube, you got to make videos that people want to watch. It's that simple. Which is why an engaging title and a captivating thumbnail are probably the two most important factors to being successful on YouTube. Of course, after that is making really good content that can hold a person's attention. And of course, appealing to a large enough audience. You could do all three of those things, but if your target demographic for the content you're making is small, you're never going to have 1 million subscribers. There's a magic answer.
We do know that if you can keep your audience engaged, your content has a better chance of getting picked up. Earlier, we talked about how it pays to. And if you're willing to misrepresent and spread stereotypes about your own people, then you're probably in for a big payday.
But no one's being misrepresented, bro. This is how these people really are, bro.
How isn't the only way to get noticed on YouTube. Many of these...
Here's what you need to ask yourself. Why did, when Kamala Harris do her first rally and she wanted to appeal to black people, why did she reach for Meg Thee Stallion to come on stage and twerk and shake her butt? Sorry to break it to you. When her and her team crunched the numbers and said, how can we appeal to the lowest common denominator of black people, this ghetto buffoonery is what we need to import. Sorry to break it. It's not a misrepresentation. If it was a misrepresentation, that act would have utterly horrified and disgusted the majority of black Americans, and she would have immediately lost the majority of the black vote. If that was the truth, if that was the truth, that all of this is a misrepresentation, then the minute she put Meg Thee Stallion on stage to shake her butt and brought out Wavo and all that stuff and put on her fake black accent and all that, she would have just, her polling with the blacks would have just tanked to the floor. But that's not what happened. It works because it is the truth.
Channels only recently started doing it. How did the ones that came before them years prior make it in the first place? Well, drama. Drama has been and always will be.
Nobody's watching videos about Megan Thee Stallion, bro.
It's profitable. Regardless of the genre, community, or political leanings that a person may have on YouTube, drama is guaranteed to bring you clicks, which in turn creates ad revenue. If the content creator is big, oh, you can bet you're in for a big payday. Now, this drama manifests itself in different forms. It can be between two or more creators on the platform, or the drama could be the content itself. In the case of black humiliation content on YouTube, the drama is mostly self-contained. Like reality TV, it's those dramatic moments between the
Like, do you call the Keeping Up with the Kardashians white humiliation content? Do you call Jerry Springer white humiliation content? No. Now, of course, we understand that these people are all being exaggerated at times, but you really think that white trash person that comes on the screen and is acting the fool, that's how they really are, and they represent a real subset of white America. And when other white people criticize that kind of behavior, they don't get called anti-white.
Folks that keep you hooked. And one perfect example of this is the infamous pop the balloon or fall in love subgenre. In this format, the overall objective is to, well, pop the balloon or find love. The guests are invited onto the show in a lineup, and contestants take turn introducing themselves to said lineup. If the lineup likes what they see or are interested, they get a chance to get to know the guests. If not, the balloon gets popped. Some end up with matches, but most others get their balloons popped. It's a pretty simple concept, and when applied to dating shows, makes a pretty good entertainment. When comparing these videos to your other 20v1s or street interviews, these videos are much less harmful. In fact, some of the bigger creators that use this specific format try to stay away from racial stereotypes. They don't rely on cooning or portraying black folks as buffoonish characters. For the most part, the hosts, guests, and contestants appear to be themselves in front of the camera.
Okay, that last statement he just made gets to the heart of my issue with this guy's video. He said the people on the Pop the Balloon show are being themselves because they behave better and carry themselves with more self-respect and dignity. They also tend to articulate themselves better. But the ghetto buffoonery that we see in the 20v1 shows, that's all just pretend. This is the delusion of the liberal, that all cultures are equally good. And ignorant, violent, low IQ, sexually perverse, lazy black people don't really exist. And that ghetto black culture, it doesn't create single mothers and violent, irrational young men. No. White supremacy does that. And the lack of funding does that. All these black people in the 20v1s, they're just pretending to be this way to get views and make money. No, my friend, this is who they are. But if the liberal acknowledges reality, all of a sudden, Thomas Sowell is right, which means that ghetto black culture is the problem. And no amount of tax dollars that can pump into these communities is actually going to fix single motherhood, or black-on-black violence, or literacy levels, or financial responsibility. Because that's who these people are. They need re-education, not better schools. Of course, better schools are good, but it doesn't matter how good the schools are if they don't care about learning. And because they don't care to learn.
Yo, what's up with this nigga's Wi-Fi, bro?
Glorifies knowledge and learning. Their teachers don't care to try it. They need to be Completely unbrainwashed and given a brand new culture. It doesn't take a bunch of money. It doesn't take generations. Just as a person can be a terrible person, a pervert, a thief, a liar, a drug-addicted person, and overnight they walk into a church, have a spiritual experience, and then turn around and they are a brand new person. It all comes down to receiving the truth, accepting it, and making the decision to live according to it. It doesn't take a bunch of money, nor does it take generations to accomplish. All it takes is the desire to change.
They're following the rules of the game and trying to find someone compatible with them. However, if you watch enough of these videos, you begin to recognize that they play into some certain narratives around modern dating culture and black love. Talking about dating in today's world, specifically dating in the 2020s, always feels a bit weird. Almost because it's impossible to separate how massively social media has been integrated into it. It's really altered the way a lot of us operate on a romantic level, from the way we view potential partners all the way down to how we view our self-worth. Emphasis and praise is put on optics and aesthetics of love rather than love itself. We start forming unrealistic expectations based on what we see in other people partaking in or displaying online. Combine that with the fact that literally everyone's a relationship guru nowadays, and you end up with a confusing mess known as dating today. Social media puts the concept of love in a nasty-ass narcissistic chokehold. The constant seeking of validation, the desire to constantly compare what we're doing to others around us, the need to outdo others, the viewing of others as options rather than people. Doing all of this while simultaneously not being willing to look past the surface level in other people. Everything becomes a shallow sham, and love essentially gets commodified. Combine this with a young audience that hasn't gotten to experience what dating was like before social media became so integral. It ends up explaining why a lot of folks get so frustrated with dating nowadays. People are tired of things seeming so superficial, but when you play into those frustrations, it makes great dramatic content. This show and others that follow the format rely on playing into the frustrations of modern dating. It relies on everyone to have a sense of shallowness from both guests and contestants alike. It relies on them quickly passing judgment on each other, oftentimes without ever speaking.
Listen, the reason why dating is in the state that it is because of feminism, which I'm sure you agree with because you're wearing a pink shirt. There is no shortage of single women. It's just that a lot of them are whores. They don't feel the need to settle down, and they also feel comfortable sleeping around with a bunch of different men. And men are to blame too. It's just that sexual liberation is in the hands of women. If every woman in America said that I'm not having sex until marriage, guess how many women men would be able to sleep with? I don't care. You could be the most alpha, sigma, male, Chad, dude in the world. You're sleeping with one woman. Of course, that's unrealistic. Even before the time of feminism, you've always had prostitutes and women that were willing to commit adultery and fornication, but the percentage was far lower. Women took their virginity incredibly seriously. So yes, you still ended up with the most sought after or appealing women getting with the most appealing men. But because there was this expectation that you would get married and start having children at a relatively young age, like in your early 20s, and in some cultures even a bit younger than that, it was a lot easier to find a spouse. It was a lot easier to find someone you could marry and have children. But thanks to the sexual liberation movement and feminism, women now don't feel like they need to have children that young. And they also feel like it's okay for them to sleep around with a bunch of men. And so because men are aware that that is not an option, they're also taking advantage of it. And as society becomes more and more degenerate, women also become comfortable with the idea of having a boyfriend that has other girlfriends. And so what you have is one guy who, you would call like an alpha or a high value man, he's tall, he's handsome, he has a lot of money, he's sleeping with 5-6 girls, and all 5-6 girls are okay with that. They're okay putting off marriage. They're okay putting off, having children. And so now that one man has taken 6 women off the market. Whereas in the past, that one man, albeit him being high value, he would only have the opportunity to get with one woman. Now, he would, of course, end up getting the most beautiful woman who comes from the best family out of the options that are available because he's high value or whatever. But then those other 5 women would be available, and also they are all interested in finding a man that they can settle down with, marry, and have children. So feminism is also a part of the reason why this even is a thing. But I'm sure you agree with feminism.
Speaking a single word. All of the superficial traits we apply to the dating scene today, these shows play on. What this does end up reinforcing those stigmas about dating culture. And with a platform and audience that large, it ends up doing more harm than you think. You take a very small sample size of black men and a very small sample size of black women, none of which are reflective of an entire group of people, and have them play into harmful dating tropes for the sake of entertainment. Yeah, you'll get some entertaining clips out of it, but you end up pushing harmful narratives. The same narratives that end up resulting in the classic niggas ain't shit and all women are the same discourse that hasn't gotten us nowhere since we got off the boat. But that still leaves the question of...
Yeah, but the only reason...
Malik Neighbors will never step foot in San Francisco with a Niners jersey on. I promise you.
They don't condemn. Here's what you don't have anymore.
He will never wear a Niners jersey in his fucking life. Not as long as I have him on my team.
Son come home from school, sagging his pants, talking about he wants to get dreadlocks and dye his dreads and get his ears pierced and listening to Gunna and taking away everything and saying, I'm gonna send you to military school if you don't get your head on right. They don't take it seriously. They let it slide.
Yeah,
they don't
fuck out of here.
Like the
keep CMC, mom.
His success getting on.
Keep CMC.
I'm sure that's why I'm the way I am, right? I mean, I went through a phase where I did start to embrace all of these self-destructive aspects of black culture when I moved to America and I moved away from my mom. But, I've really just returned to a lot of the teachings that my mother instilled in me when I was younger. When I was younger, I was not allowed to listen to that kind of music. If she caught me with my pants hanging down below my waist, she would go off. I had to use proper grammar when I spoke. And again, my mother is a black woman in a majority black country. That country, it had nothing to do with pleasing the white man. At that point in time, both her and I believed that I was going to be living in Jamaica my entire life. There is no white man you're trying to pander to or please. It's just that kind of...
Nice. You remember Young Don the Sauce God?
It's obvious it was self-destructive and counterproductive. But now, black and white people alike are afraid to criticize and condemn that kind of behavior because in some way it makes you a racist.
Why? Why would YouTube push this stuff out? Well, I think we already answered that. Why not?
You're just talking about
world entertainment.
Well, he's reacting to a video about how people, this guy thinks people
clear years ago.
Are fucking
this type of stuff out because it's inflammatory.
It's
the viral moments that will.
It's not because it's inflammatory. It's because it's what people want to watch. If people didn't want to watch this stuff anymore, if black people as a community, because the majority of people that watch this are black, if they came together and said, hey,
God, Deshaun Watson has a new one now.
False and harmful stereotypes of black people, it's damaging our community's image, let's stop watching this, these videos wouldn't get views anymore. So you can't believe YouTube doesn't choose what people want.
Why the fuck?
People want to watch what they want to watch. So what you need to ask yourself is, why do so many black people enjoy watching this?
This nigga is not even
That would
good,
be
bro.
a great video. I would love, if you ever see this, I would love for you to make a video. Why do black people love watching this stuff? I've never watched this stuff. I've always thought this stuff was cringe and nasty and degenerate. I've never liked this content. Granted, it got invented once I was already a Christian and had already shifted to conservatism. And for those people who are like, oh, you went from being a Christian to a conservative? No, I became a Christian because I became a conservative. I became a conservative first. And then, of course, a lot of conservatives talk a lot about God. And so that started to plant seeds in my mind. But what you're hearing now is not like, oh, you went from being a Christian to... I was always a conservative. And it's just because I now realize that I haven't been Christian long enough to be a qualified Christian teacher. You can do far more damage than good by preaching false doctrine or not having enough.
This nigga's not even good, bro. I promise you he's not.
Christian teacher. And so
I promise you
said,
he's
okay, well, I can talk about conservatism because all we have to do is read history. There's nothing new under the sun. We're not going to come up with any new approaches to politics or government or how to run a society in 2024. Everything that can be done has been done. And so all we have to do is look throughout history and see what worked and ask ourselves, okay, at what point do we see past empires falling apart? Oh, the closer they move to socialism, the closer they move to communism, the more they embrace degeneracy, the more they embrace sexual liberation, the more they embrace feminism. And time again, the more they embrace mass immigration, countries fall apart. When our countries at their strongest, when the markets are free, when religion is strong, when families are strong, when there's a lot of incentive for fostering technological innovation, which comes from a market being free. Like, all you have to do is look throughout history. And so that's how I feel so confident about talking about my conservative points of views, because I'm not just pontificating. You see, that's the advantage the conservative has over the progressive. The progressive is trying to come up with new stuff in hopes that it works out. The conservative just has to look behind him and say, oh, what has worked before? Let's just do that again. But I digress. I forgot why I even went off of that thing. Let's continue.
Lead to clicks, reactions, and discussions. It doesn't matter what kind of genre you are, what style of content, or even what side of the political spectrum you lean upon. You can be left, right, centrist, or apolitical. If it gets the job done, that being feeds into drama, then YouTube will throw it out. Any way they can package the drama.
Again, it's just what do people want to watch? And yeah, people love conflict, so people will tune in for conflict and stuff.
And shut it out, they will. We saw this with the prank days, the commentary drop, podcasts. We're now seeing it with this. These pop the balloon and other forms of black humiliation content aren't anything new. They're just the latest iteration. But there is one nasty implication that's left from all of this type of content. One that impacts every black creator on the platform. In the process of trying to criticize a lot of the drama and foolery on the platform, a lot of creators end up labeling it Black YouTube, which does more harm than anything else. A recurring question I keep asking throughout the video is, what is Black YouTube? But I mean, for real, what is Black YouTube?
Yeah, Black YouTube is the side of YouTube that aligns with the definition of blackness that was defined by white liberals and militant black people who wanted to take advantage of white guilt after the 1960s civil rights era. That is what Black YouTube is, because they got to define what blackness is.
You don't fuck with 7?
From that,
I thought it looked good on them.
Apart from that, the more you're trying to be white or be something other than black. You have to remember, slaves didn't label themselves black. White people have always been the people that get to define what black is.
I can't even see your full comment.
Liberals have decided that this behavior is what it means to be black.
Black creators on this platform is uncountable, from gaming, streaming, commentary, podcasts, education, lifestyle, comedy skits, video essays, story times, animators,
I can't even see a full comment, bro.
Anything a creator of any race would do. Black folks are doing it too.
Yeah, being a part of Black YouTube is about how you behave. It's not about what you do. So even if you do something like make animations, if you're portraying any of these stereotypes that have been identified with authentic blackness by white liberals, then you would also fall in the category of Black YouTube.
All right, bro, let me turn this shit off, bro.
Okay, class, open up your books and turn to chapter 33.
Right down the middle, it's good. And the Giants tie things up at 14.
Six-out guy in the sky, put stars on the roof. BB my wrist and my tooth. Bro, get high as a kite, 2 lines of the juice. He wanna hang up a noose. I was just speaking my truth. You know how I do. That bitch, you know how I move. I ain't got nothing to prove, I got something to lose. Ain't shit to me, I'ma shoot. 10 hours straight, the move, I go straight from the booth.
I ain't get your boo.
Buckets, man, this book, this shit in the move. be hungry for truth. Bitch, I'm back to the youth, forever pursue. Whatever it is, I won't do. No, it ain't nothing, it's it ain't nothing to assume. It is what it is the truth. 2000 just for the fuck with Canadian gold. Shade in my glizzy and toe. I don't think shit in the club, feel like baby fuse. I spend a lot on some shows. I spend my time with the song, I'm thinking like phones. I just be keeping it cold. I know she had what I do. I think that I'm broke. Just being honest with you. I'm telling you, got in the wrong. He's speaking to me too. But he's speaking to you. He's the one that made the music. I learned it from you. She was what we could do. Should've slick you out of her, but I was a fool. Now I'm the one to see you. Feel like I'm on the moon. I'm proud of it too. I hope that I never lose. Niggas better have your heat. Better watch your feet. Got your please. Got that fire. Need a piece. That pussy. Take my bucket from bitch. You do. Spending my money.
That's my fault, bro. That's my fault. That's my fault. I made that way too easy. That's my fault. You won't get that again.
I don't want no one, I just want bitch. When I'm bitch, probably sorry. I don't know, bitch, she don't bring me bitch. Get on my nerves, I barely sleep. I heard she fucked up without me. I'ma die alone if we keep it strict. I know that's why they fuck with me. Still don't know why she subbing me. They hit that house since 2019. Remember, she was dubbing me. Deep down, I still want my Helene, but I don't think that she want me. I can't even lie, I'm Miss Kiki. But I know I'm wrong, I'ma let her be. If you don't wanna fuck with me, I won't think twice, I'ma let you leave. Gotta call my mama, bitch, you said it, bitch, yeah, I talk the fuss like every week. I know we see him sucking me. I know these niggas wanna be. I know these bitches wanna be. I'm who I thought I'd always be. I wonder for you look at me. Hope everybody proud of me.
Going inside is chapter 3.
That's not open. Battery's about to throw that to Njoku.
G6 good, my brother, she on your line. Say I love her, I'm that guy. I thought I told you she rather die to find another. I don't know your affection, we spent $2 and I'm this public. But he tell me I spent 3. Gonna get back on my fashion. She like, since when you went flash. I'm like, there's no way much in the bag. She gon' fuck for my status. And right now just went paddock. They said we so hard. Shit's so easy. We gonna be such a thing. And these niggas don't want static. Turn that nigga to ashes. Fucking on a bitch that's like cash. Thinking that bitch cash. Don't say I've been moving too fast. Shout to my brothers. I'm in the checks. I'm moving too fast. One more time. G6 good, my brother, she on your lie. Say I love her, she never got it. Thought I told her she rather die to find another. I don't know your affection, we spent $2 and nothing's public. But they tell me I spent 3. Gonna get back on my fashion. She like, since when you went flash. There's no one wishing no back. She ain't falling for my status. Right now, just look back. They say we so hard. Shit's so easy, it's not. The burning fires, and shit better get my flyer. 40K on watches, and I still get so much confidence. I swear I got money every day, I don't need to take this. If I get on my feet, they set me down, and I'm just like this. Trying to be me, she like G6 good, my brother, she want me to lie. Say I live, she never got one. Thought I told her she rather die to find another. I don't know your fashion, we spent $2 and I'm just public. But they tell me I spent 3. Gonna get back on my fashion. She like, since when you went flash. There's no way much in the baggage, so get that that was hard, but I'm still managed. I like you, got your mind like this. I know she fine like this. Yeah, this time she likes me like this. Yeah, just like this. The G6 to my brother, she want me to lie. Say I love her, I'm not gonna. But I told her she rather die to find another. I don't know your affection, we spent $2 and I'm this public. But these always I spent 3. Gonna get back to my fashion. She like, since when you were flash. There's not very much in the baggage, no. Used to be one of my shows, now I'm just saying I'm here. And I'm a business, go feel like this shit when I'm here. Keep telling me I'm working so hard, I know this shit ain't out there. But I can't stop going hard and telling me no, I'm out there. I just let them know y'all standing in my station, sing. Hey, stop talking, I'm singing, shall sing. Brand new, I'm like trying to find it. Dreaming's going on, I'm thinking that's what we find. Think about me, she can't find it. She trying to get right, so I put her phone on silent. She could best stay quiet. Don't come me once, so you think this is how I'm doing. For the best of them friends, nah, we can't keep it down. I'm easy, I'm bitch to this end, nah, shit to 5%. Cash out, brain. This ain't be money well spent. Busy, long, fast, you bring your friend. This is fixing the product back, so we don't sweat. And I'm just leaving it, got this one. Even my shoes, flying, bitch, stay on me. People out and do the business. Feel like this shit was on me. Tell me I went so hard, but I know this shit ain't on me. But I can't stop loving, it's selling to lose with my baby. I just said that I love you, standing in my station, singing. Singing, singing. Smiling, screaming, scouting. Songs making it from the bottom. Nigga shout, three God, I'm smiling. I'm bad, I'm good, ass, but to the inside, I ain't been trying. Ain't listening, so I can make that time, I ain't got it. Ain't missing that other dream sound, like I still ain't got it. Used to be in my shoes, and I have been say I'm here. Remember being in school, feeling like this shit wasn't on me. Now we're too young, I know this shit ain't on me. But I can't stop doing this, I don't know what I'm saying. Stand up in my section, I sing. I'm singing, I'm singing. Brand new life, brand new mileage, living scouting. All making that grow, we fight.
Putting the receiver in motion. Touchdown, New York. The Giants earn the chance to tie before halftime. It's a Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. Gano's point after is good. And the Giants tie this game at 21. Gano ready to send this away.
How many them bitch can't catch me? They might be for the champion. Watch out for these subs, they might be for the champion. She's trying to get in the backseat, nasty, just got the win last week. Mama told me no more crashing, crashing. I'm ready to see the cash me. These niggas still can't catch me in action. No, I'm never lacking. Lavish from my bitch, she perfect. I'm trying to see what's happening. All of my numbers from loaded, perfect. Don't need no flashy. Really need some more, need a big bag. I need a whole damn thing. I really need some more, take a damn deal. Fill up all the canteen. Somebody press my phone, watch too. Crazy, I can't see a damn thing. I feel hard, them bitch can't catch me. You special like track it. Watch out for these songs, they might be for the trap it. Watch out for these songs, they might be for the trap it. She's trying to get in the backseat, nasty, just got the win last week. Mama told me no more crashing, bad shit. I'm afraid to catch me. Mama told me no more crashing, bad shit. You know it's you catch me.
This is Gibbs on second down. We'll join both teams in taking a short break. More of the NFL on EA Sports in just a moment. interesting one. Can't stop arguing with you.
Go back to my famous, let me get dangerous. I don't know what you can't understand me. And if this house, I'm like a fool. Can't manage my soul. Diamonds, they buy it, they share my soul. She gets so excited when I hold my soul. I see it in your eyes, you want me know you. So what we gon' do? Fuck with your vibe, man, what I'm prone to. And I already talked to you. I feel so young. Can't believe we both falling, but can you blame us? Go back to my little famous, love me get dangerous. I do what I want you to do, you can't just with me and you. And make me so I'm living like a fool, can't finish my soul. Diamonds, they bite and they shit hurt my soul. She gets so excited when I hold up my cool. Yeah, I sit in your eyes, you hold me down, want you, so what we gon' do?
These in cuts maybe aren't the hardest throws from a degree of difficulty, Kate, but it does take some courage as a quarterback to throw into congested spaces that it can pay dividends.
It's third and 8. Need to get a chunk here.
She don't need to know that's yeah. If it's one on these, something sounds from you. I need to give it to the guys by the beats on side. This isn't easy, it's fast. So she don't need to know that's yeah. If it's one on these, something sounds from you. I need to give it to the guys by the beats on side. Tell me what we gon' do, I'm ready to try on you. Take a trip if you want to, just pick a place I got you. You don't know what I do without you. I'm sorry, but if you think it's in, I'm wishing the bar, I'm wishing the bar, so yeah. I hope that it makes one live you heard of. I wish this would be the end of the night. Something they should not need because you know that's yeah. It's not on me, so it's on me. I ain't even trying to get right on these so fast.
No one in the area. He's still on the field. Seems like a pretty cut and dry intentional grounding to me.
Seems like you want to be an official someday, Kate.
Maybe.
Yeah, because you nailed that one.
Penalty not helping their cause for this third down.
Money all on my mind, so baby I hear nothing you see. They give you time, cause money is time. You can go when you cross that line. You can go when you don't believe the dream. I'm Dusty Rose, I'm American Dream. I can't lie, but my money ain't clean. She only look good when I'm off the plane. I stay to myself, don't need nobody else.
It's a 23-yard pickup on the play.
I'm playing with your side, just wanna see the spotlight. Just wanna see the spotlight. See the video on my life. She just wanna take pics and I'm ready to know. But I have to kick out. Get ready to show. Just tryna make it through the day with some and we can do baby girl, that's not so good. Stick to you all day, need you close. Fix it on the inside, put it when it's on. You fix it on the display, play when it's on. I'm gonna see, let's go this girl. If I'm just pretty, she know where to go. Anything she wanna get to the love. She gets to tell what I'm thinking about. I gotta stop doing shit on the lawn. I'm missing you, baby, to be alone. Wanna go shopping, I can give a phone. Girls, you big, you just don't. That's your favorite. I said I was gonna get you a phone. I got amazing. We always like it over the phone. I know you hate it. I gotta leave you so alone. That's my name. I gotta leave you so alone. Baby, I'm strong. Just a song. I should she will leave me alone. She know what I do, she knows. I don't say yes, and all friends, but she don't blow. I should have said it. I just want to double slow. That's too basic. That's it. But all of it, we always rise. And I'm stuck up in the phone for phone. She get crazy. She got a stuff. So she's doing it. So I said I was going to get you a phone. We always like when I was phone. I gotta leave so alone. Every time I think when shit go wrong. Saturday, on my singing way, standing cut out the way, the shots are still taking the spotlight. Just wanted to feel the light, sing along in your eyes. That's why I don't want y'all. She just wanna take pills and a break. I had to kick out, but it's scared to make the shots. Just wanna take it, do it again. Baby girl, no problem. Looking to you all day, need you close. You just think all it is, like play when it's over. I just want to be yes, I'm not secrets at the box. So my man will take that she knows what you can. Still with you, think it's going.
That's so lame, bro. I mean, but it's prime that y'all want to.
So many flying like fucking you, no, she's talking about. So many trying to get in with you, no, she's talking about. I don't know why you think I need you, but you gotta go. Let's go on my way. So last week, she's still in my chocolate. I did she keep dying. Find out what about my son. I'm teaching her on the phone. Feels like she was trying to lie to me. Like, no, I don't know. They say you take off my head. She has something to us.
Very handsome, I mean, joke is very handsome.
I'm just going to be yes, I'm not secrets at the party. Still want to hear it because she know that you deny it. Still with the niggas going, no secrets. We say, y'all just get started. So many women just give a shit, not just how it goes. So many flying, it's like it's you, not just how it goes. So many times you get up the shoes, not just how it goes. You think I need you, but you gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go. Yes, I'm not like this bullshit. Still say, y'all just been starting around. So many coming, just give us love, not just how it goes. So many flying, if I get you, not just how it goes. So many trying to get in with you, not just how it goes. I don't know why you think I need you, but you gotta go. Oh yeah, you gotta go, 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 go. Yeah, you gotta go, 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 go.
Too many plays like that, it just is too hard to pile together and get first downs against the better defenses in this league.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Ross off the play fake. On the move, headed right. And the coverage is too good there. Didn't find the throw that he was confident in, so just throws it away. 3rd down coming up.
You hear so many programs all around the league talk about it's all about the ball. It's all about the ball. Their discretion, the better part of valor in a lot of cases. And right there, he understood it's all about the ball, and I'm not going to risk a turnover wisely. Throwing it away.
Even if I hit you on you, part of my connection. Even if I, I love that you only hit me when you got a nigga. I want something to do with it. Can me, I really think we could have had something special. You know, it's such a big bitch. Just being honest, it's tricky. I said, I'm really my baby, ain't none of that mix. Look at this clearly in fiction, really. Okay, let's get back to the scripture. Probably just moved to LA, think she 95. She love this one here. Just me get stand in country, I always trying to fly now. So she go back to King. I see Kiara, like she ain't see me, but Killer just text me and said that she need me. Fuck it, it is what it is, we live. So long the way, and I'll make her finish. So many others in the niggas, so I can respond. Shit like I'm saying, yeah. Look at my already gotta say, but you know what I need. And then you try to get back at her, put it in time out, cause there's nobody late. Girl, you know what the money, she know what the vibe got. If you know what I'm thinking, man, it's too much of who else can be with some money. I'll get somebody else and do it soon as I get on their nerves. If I'm gonna be paid, and I get somebody else's music. Ain't tryna think it's a girl in my life, but she don't on my back. I don't know who else can do it. Yeah, I'm a rich nigga, baby, but I cannot buy you a thing. Somebody else can do the same. Can't write my wrongs, but I can write this poetry. This poetry. Wonder if I wasn't all the way down, you know it's me. Ain't I said do what I said, that's how it's supposed to be. Supposed to be. I sound like future, people said y'all to see. Like it's really good sick, we barely good sick. Next bitches like season to him. Gucci don't care about it, I put Gucci on everybody. It's super chill to him. When it's on everybody, that was pointing at everybody. Like some kissing, man. Leading status. I just go panic. Thinking about cash, thinking about kill. Southern Saturn, getting my dollars.
He's gonna get all the touches, team.
Ain't talking Australia, rest of my year. Back to the jump.
He's gonna get all the touches. Fantasy owners love Brian Daboll right now. Fantasy owners that have Jahmyr Gibbs love Brian Daboll right now.
Somebody else to do it. Me, girl, get somebody else to do it.
Fix my phone. I don't use it for replays, Dad. Like, I'll say his damn name. Why do I have to know his
Trailing by one score late here, Kate. Maybe this is the return. Maybe this is what helps him get back into a good position now to start their most important series. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Gotta go. Shoot ball.
I've seen a one-step drop. I've seen a but a 20-step drop? For this defense, it's negative yards to that play.
But I'm no good for you. No good for you. But you know you bad, you look good as shit. Please don't tell me you love me, I you for the shit. Please you know you bad, you look good as shit. Please don't tell me you love me, I you for the shit. Someone look my wrist, she know I'm the shit. She knows like this, all these bitches here. Never seen her act like that, goddamn, I must admit. She done already heard about me, she know a nigga lit. She never seen a back like that, she know a nigga rich. Oh, you want you a back like that, well, let's go hit that spin. She ready to tell me she better not fall. She need it, she know who to call. My niggas don't give a fuck about no loss. They talk to my niggas on the songs. I know this bitch, she got that dog in her. Think about spending this cash on her. I'ma spend that bag on you. Think I'ma spend that bag on you.
Fans love the long ball in baseball. That's why they got the home run derby. But you know what? Talk to managers, and they will tell you small ball can win too. Singles and doubles, you add them up, you could win a lot of baseball games. Football coaches will tell you get wins at that point. It may not be a home run, it may not score points, but it can do some serious damage.
And in it a single yard that time. They're going to have to solve 3rd down and 4.
Check. 4 down. 14, front it.
He's back to throw.
Yeah, it's your bitch, she told me she like it, but sorry to tell you, bro, I did it better. She loving this bitch ass one on the outside, it's brought on the inside my team, with a left of my mama just told me she said that she worried. I told her, don't worry, ma, I'm doing better. I wanted this one girl, but she didn't go as expected, so fucking I had to forget her. I'm still the same nigga you would've made 10 years ago, and you niggas is not that you still got a little something for this one girl I met her 2 years ago, but she could probably do better. I had too much pride, couldn't put it inside, she feel like without me, her life would be better. Still chasing the girl on my dick, but I can't ever stick, so that's probably why I never get her. Still chasing my dream, why these niggas say so much like like honestly, bro, I just really don't get it. Still feel like I'm out here alone. It's a fair better back because they thought that I would do it different. Fuck it, I really just stay out the way. I don't fuck with that nonsense. It's nothing for business. I wanna be happy, but shit never work out. So maybe I'm just not cut out for commitment. But everything else in my life comes to do it. Change anything, but it wanted no different.
That's our offense. Gibbs, Malik Neighbors. That's our offense.
No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. Looking to throw. Gets this to Johnson. He gets this down to the 13-yard line. They get 13 on the
picture. This time was different. So it's like a love gun out, but the things that I did, you hide on this. We both know I'm
gonna take this to the 2-minute warning. I'm gonna take it to the 2-minute warning. Fuck, I gotta force it for. Fuck, I gotta force it for Akeem.
All you really asked for is love, honesty, and myself. I can't even lie, everything that we had, goddamn, I'm missing. It was gonna be me against the world, but now half of my world missing. Can't even listen to this when it's night outside, just go ahead there.
Feeling lucky with a 7-point lead.
You know what I'm saying?
He brings the offense up now for a 1st and 10. On the draw, this is Gibbs. What a hit! He gets flattened to the ground. Halfway there on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
It's been a minute, how you been living? I'm just trying to figure it out. Keep it a million, how would it feeling? She wanna chill on me now. Had a good bitch that you got me a Billy. But I'm still on the same shit, right on the outside and running the inside, my seat better love. I'ma just call me and that's how I'm doing. I said never better, I'm still
going right to conservative. Fuck this niggas talking about.
I deserve me the better. She say I'm selfish, I'm off my Benjamin. That's flies and changes the weather. So the same nigga you put up in teams are going to difference and now I live better. Now my girl for 2 years look hard to say I still kinda wanna see it, we'll do better. Then let's get much and just say happy.
I am. I got bailed out. I got bailed out right there.
Get back together, she said the Addy. I think that she came out to see me. The memories flooded and now
I ain't running with him anymore.
TV, the feeling they coming in now. She still remember I used to make beats if I phone and said I see you running it now. Then I'll see you time I was get back on the limb, but guess I can run with it now. She was married but down. Started a little different. Already out of this trip. Is it me? Is it something I'm missing? We gotta make it work for real. There's nobody in the way. It's gonna be different.
Touchdown will put this one to bed. A few shots in here, start with 1st and goal.
Get on my rushing touchdown.
Tough for a minute, but it started to diminish. She thought like the way I'm too busy. So I could face it. There was somebody tell me what I'm doing wrong, and they start to mimic. I'ma be honest, I just wanna fall in love again. I'm here for the gimmicks.
This is gonna be the last play.
It used to be minutes. Fucking like who, kid. Don't know why I thought we could have did it. It's no more I could do shit, never understand my new way of living. I don't know if religion's hurt, but I guess that I'm glad that it's finished. It's time that you change me.
I had it!
So it's a win for the visiting Giants. And they're continuing to survive among the final remaining unbeaten teams across the NFL, as they're now up to a 3-0 start. That does it for another broadcast.
Sorry, Russ Fantasy owners. Sorry I couldn't get one in for him today. Next game, we got you.
I miss when we was staying out there. You better slow back down. Now that I've done the side, now that you did want me time. Now we should have just been friends. I'm looking at this right now. know what that means.
It's literally the Malik Neighbors and Jameer Gibbs show with Theo Johnson. Not gonna lie.
I say you know what love was about. Stay rich, we can work it out. But it shit just keep going south. I guess I just wanna die out. Let me tell this shit die out. I was like, fuck it, I'm finna fly out. Yeah, I'm gonna time this fly right now. We gotta fix this shit right now. Yeah, I'm finna pop up on the Fridays. I wanna see you on Friday. I hope it play out in your ways. I hate dealing with this shit my way. Just you know I don't wanna hurt you. But it's hard doing this shit the right way. That's how I fucking supposed to tell you. But we gotta go out the right way. Not enough I to love you. Just see you whenever you need me. You know I'm coming to see you. That's when we would stay. We feel but it's over now. Now that I fucked up this time. Now that you just want me down. Now we should've just say friends. I know that it's so late now. Now it's in me saying anything. I know that you try to I'm finna to the cream of my niggas are red and blue. I don't know why she's so stubborn, let me take care of you. Baby, go get your list, then you get your hair too. Like Reno said, I'm dancing with the devil. I tell that you know that you're special. Jump against her, diamonds in our bezels. My happiness all in one, you in a vessel. I'm better than your last, it's a new level. I'm going to speed, spelling on that bed. As fast as I can, trying to get next to you. Be sure that it's no going back. It shouldn't be like that. I always had your back. Just to think that I would have you back. It was all my fault. Way too generous, and that's my flaw. So please tell me why you ignore calls. Way too generous, and that's my flaw. If it made it, I'm glad you came around. I was glad to be the one to hold me down. I feel so stupid, feeling just like a clown. Expensive for I'm thinking where I'm from. Tell a dollar, bitch, I belong in a pound. Still living with expensive, and the seats is brown. And I promise I'll never let another bitch get me